Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite, read it and weep, your favorite white colonizer coming to you live from the United States of America. I am your sweet Zionist prince, Tall the Traveling Clad. Let's get right into this video from the king himself, Victor Davis Hanson.
Hello, this is Victor Davis Hanson for the Daily Signal.
We love you.
One topic that's come up throughout January and this week again is what to do about the Iranian nuclear proliferation problem or crisis. And we all know that they're on the verge of getting a bomb, and it was recently announced they have enough fissionable material if they were to accelerate their processing of fissionable material, they could probably get a bomb within a month.
Damn.
So what do we do about it? Everybody, it reminds me so much of the Aesop's fable about belling the cat. Remember that fable of our youth when the mice got together and they say the cat is picking us off one by one. We need to put a bell around his neck so we could be warned. And everybody said that's a great idea. The next item of business among the mice assembly was who will bell the cat. What I'm getting at is the Europeans. I think even the Chinese and Russians don't want on their border a nuclear Iran. Sure. The Americans, the Israelis, everybody knows they should not, that theocratic regime should not get the bomb.
Sure.
But who bells the cat? And that's the question. Donald Trump comes in, he deposed of the chief terrorist 5 years ago, Mr. Soleimani. He's not afraid to do it. But on the one hand, there's the MAGA agenda of America first and keep out of the Middle East, and at least out of optional military engagements. And then you have to juxtapose that against the deterrent policy of Donald Trump, who took out Baghdadi, and it's no better friend, no worse enemy. And maybe to restore deterrence, he needs to send a lesson. Then there's the other binary, that Iran right now is in economic chaos. It doesn't have enough power. That seems impossible. I think it's the 5th largest producer of oil and natural gas in the world, but it does not have enough fossil fuels to run its generation plants. And people are experiencing massive blackouts. And this comes at a time that all of its terrorist surrogates, the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Syrians, have either been completely destroyed, or they're under enormous pressure, or they've been attrited to such a degree they're not operative for the moment. So then the question is, well, if you bomb Iran when the people are getting very angry at the regime and its terrorist appendages are weakened anyway, maybe it would be unnecessary because the Iranian people, like they did in 2009, might rise up. But unlike Barack Obama, who ignored that green revolution, Donald Trump and the Israelis would encourage it. Mm-hmm. And so maybe the correct stance of the incoming Trump administration is to go back to the maximum pressure campaign of Mike Pompeo and Donald Trump and have strict sanctions on oil exports, maybe even a blockade, put the pressure on so the people then throw the theocracy out itself. But on the other hand, people are going to argue, well, wait a minute. There are no Iranian air defenses. For one of the few times in history, that regime is naked. There is no Assad, there is no Hezbollah, there is no Hamas, there is no Houthis that are capable of, as surrogates, attacking the Israeli state. So maybe you could attack Iran just this brief window because Israel, in a series of brilliant air responses, has destroyed Tehran's ability to defend itself. So the regime is naked, and either the United States or Israel could take that out. So that's another argument. In the case of Israel, the question is, will you ever have this opportunity again to retaliate to the 500 drones, ballistic missiles, and cruise missiles that were launched that attacked the Jewish homeland? And is that window also, that window of memory, is that also evaporating? So people were forgetting what Iran did, that it sent that many projectiles against Israel. So would Israel be able then, A, to get through the defenses, have a week of bombing that would be necessary to eliminate the threat, and have the Trump administration approve it? And then finally we get to the other known unknown. What is the actual status of the bomb? logic dictates that Iran wouldn't lie and say we don't yet have the bomb when they did, because it would have no deterrent effect. Most people say we do have it when they don't have it, a la Saddam Hussein, things like that. So, but Israel can't be sure, and you have to be 99.99 sure, or you're talking about an existential fate. Bottom line, add up all of these known unknowns, and I think the wisest course is for the Trump administration to say to Israel, we will keep China out, we will keep Russia out. It's your decision, but unlike the Biden administration, we put no limitations on your response, and we will give you the necessary wherewithal as far as munitions and intelligence to carry that mission out, if you so choose. We are working on a parallel path of embargoes, maximum pressure on Iran, but we can't guarantee that it will be successful in time. You make the decision, and whatever decision you make, we, the United States, will support it.
It's an interesting position that Victor Davis Hanson takes. Sort of, it's the thing I've been talking about for a while now, which is we're in this big dilemma of like, what do you do? Do you do the diplomatic route? Do you do the military route? Either way has massive consequences, both good and bad. But the hard part is understanding what would be the right decision. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no right decision with the Islamic regime of Iran. This is an evil, immoral, oppressive, racist regime that is destroying the Middle East. It is a cancer in the Middle East that is festering and festering and festering, and it will be the thing to topple and destroy the Middle East if we don't take it out. But the reality is, understanding what there are so many losses if Trump militarily attacks, and there are so many losses if we just do the diplomatic route, that it's literally impossible to come up with the right decision for this. It's interesting to me that Victor Davis Hanson takes the route of put it on Israel, let Israel make the military response. And it's interesting. I don't say it's good or bad. From one side, I look at it and I say, well, with overwhelming American support, military support, and like obviously aerial support, the job gets done easier. But obviously opens America to being an actual target from Iran, which nobody wants. When it's just Israel doing it and America supporting it, it kind of turns into like another Western proxy war. Now, on the other hand, if America actually jumps into the fight, there's a lot more damage that can be done, and you can really send a shockwave to the IRGC, and potentially weaken them past the point where a revolution can actually begin, and we could see the end of the regime itself. It's really impossible at the moment to tell what is the right thing. But as we know, these B-52 bombers and these B-12 bombers, I believe is what they're called. People were telling me in the comments. I'm not an airplane whiz at all, especially when it comes to military aircraft. These stealth bombers and these large bombers, these cargo bombers have been arriving in Diego Garcia Airport, military base in the Indian Ocean, posturing and getting prepared. Everybody knows, the whole world knows they're there. And Iran is getting prepared for an actual military action. And we have this Saturday meeting looming between high-up level officials in Iran and Trump, potentially, and high-up officials in America. We're heading to the point of no return. Saturday will define the future of the world and potentially the Middle East, on whether this turns into a full-blown war and we can't see eye to eye, or diplomatic talks ensue and Iran allows the world to come inspect its nuclear sites. I'll say this. There is no way in hell ever that Iran will allow the international community to come and inspect its nuclear sites, because it will be, openly admitting that it has committed the crimes that everybody's accused it of. So there's no way that Iran will allow that to happen. So it's either the U.S. is going to have to compromise or we're going to war. I see the U.S. and the Trump administration compromising on that one point. I think there's going to be some sort of safeguard trying to be put in place. That safeguard is the question. What happens with that safeguard? And that's what we're just going to have to kind of wait for Saturday to see what happens. And if you guys do want to support the channel, get your white colonizer hat. Get your little Judean shirt in the description below. You support the channel and you get some amazing merch. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye, class. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, or you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.